Hey everybody, and welcome to a long overdue update video that I said I would get out over the weekend and did not do. So here we are on Thursday, putting out this update video, and in case you couldn't tell from the title of the video, the update is that I am moving back to Nightwalker. Yay! So, for anyone who missed it, in the last video I went over my thoughts on Ilium and explained why I decided to quit Ilium so soon. So if you're interested in that, go back and check that out. This video, I'm basically going to be going over why I decided to switch to Nightwalker, and at the end of the video, we are going to do a little fun, well, maybe not fun, but I have a bit of a surprise, and I think it might be fun, maybe not, but we're going to do it anyways, so be prepared for that, I guess. But anyways, for those of you who watched the race, probably know that my plan, if I didn't like Ilium, was to switch to Fire Poison Mage. And the reason that was my plan was because Fire Poison Mage was the only mage class that I hadn't really tried. So all the other mages I had trained to 200, some of them I had played more than that. And pretty much the only one that I enjoyed was Evan. Even though I did have a few issues with Evan, overall I enjoyed it much more than I enjoyed pretty much any other mage. Some of them I was neutral on, some of them I really didn't like, but, you know, you don't really want to play anything that you're sort of neutral on, you want to play something that you enjoy. So, I was originally going to try Fire Poison because I thought, you know, maybe I'll enjoy it, right? And I'm sort of out of options if I want to remain a mage. Otherwise, it's either stick to Evan or try Fire Poison and see if you enjoy it. The reason I ended up deciding against that was because I already knew I really hated Bishop, and I was pretty neutral on Ice Lightning. So in the event that I didn't like Fire Poison, my option was to then go back to Evan or switch to a class that I knew I would not enjoy, or move to Thief. Because Thieves are what I originally played for the vast majority of my Maple career, and I knew that I enjoyed Thieves. So it was sort of like a, you know, do I want to risk it? And I decided against it, so I ended up, you know, jumping the gun, I guess, and going back to Thief. As for why Nightwalker specifically, I know a lot of people consider Nightlord to just be objectively better. I myself felt the same way for a while. That actually is one of the reasons I originally quit Nightwalker. I actually really enjoy Nightwalker as a class, and that never really changed very much. The reason I originally quit Nightwalker was because they nerfed the hell out of it. And it was so bad that Nightwalker was actually just like objectively worse than Nightlord at everything for a couple months. And that made me really salty at the time. So I was like, why am I even playing this class if Nightlord is just straight up better at everything? So I went to Phantom at that point, and the rest is history. But I wanted to go back to Nightwalker because I think now with 5th job and with the removal of the damage cap, or at least the raising of it to 10 bill or whatever, Nightwalker can once again hold its own. It's also been buffed a lot to sort of make up for those original nerfs. And honestly, I just enjoy Nightwalker a lot more than I enjoy Nightlord. As for other thieves, I don't think I would ever want to play Cadena seriously. I enjoyed training it to 200, but I think trying to boss on it would be terrible, at least in my opinion. So, Cadena was out. Shadower I don't really like anymore after the revamps that they've done to it. Not a big fan. Dual Blade, played a little bit of Dual Blade in my day, but I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of experience with Dual Blade, unlike the rest of the thieves. So I was a little iffy on just going to that, which is how I settled on Nightwalker. Phantom was the other big choice, since I obviously mained a Phantom as well in the past. The reason I decided against it is because I think I enjoy Nightwalker more than I enjoy Phantom. That's basically pretty much it for the deciding factor between those two. Who knows, maybe if I hate Nightwalker down the road, I'll just move everything to Phantom, but hopefully I just enjoy Nightwalker. So yeah, that's why we're going with Nightwalker. As far as how it compares with Nightlord now, I don't have the math or anything, but Nightwalkers have, I think, my current, what am I trying to say? My current expectations of Nightwalker versus Nightlord are that Nightwalker has higher consistent DPS. Nightlord probably has more burst damage, but Nightwalker also has pretty high burst damage with its 5th job skills and with its hyper skills. And then mobbing wise, I think Nightlord is definitely better, but I don't think Nightwalker's mobbing is actually that bad. It just requires you to have a lot of funding, which, you know, I will have eventually. So there's that. And the 5th job skill, the Shadow Spears, I think it's called. Yeah, Shadow Spear also helps a lot with mobbing. So I think Nightwalker's mobbing is actually solid. It's definitely not comparable to like Evan, but it's not as bad as something like Mihail. So that's my thoughts on Nightwalker versus Nightlord. I don't really know, you know, the actual math behind everything. I haven't done comparisons like that, so that's just my assumptions, if you will. But I've already begun the process of selling my mage gear and buying thief gear, and we're actually getting pretty close to being done. I'm still missing a number of equips, but before we get to that, this is what my stats look like right now. I'll go ahead and buff up. I do not have decent advanced blessing or combat orders on my V matrix right now. So self-buffed would be a little higher than this, obviously, but without those, this is where we're at. We're just over 31k luck, which is pretty good. Still like 17k short of where my Evan was, but hopefully we'll get there, because like I said, we're missing a few equips. As far as equips go, I moved over my Frenzy Totem. I already had a few Dark Helia totems from back in the day. It turns out Hunter's Totem was actually a bit of a range boost over a Helia Totem, so that's why that one's there instead of this one. This ring was one that I used to have. It's untradeable, obviously, so it's still here. I still need to replace this with the 4th ring, but Hilo Rage and Forest Guardian are both really expensive right now. So I'm having a little bit of difficulty finding a good replacement for this. Hopefully in the future it won't be too bad, but who knows. I've got all the other rings set though. I've got my Superior ring, got my Reinforced ring, I've got my Lightning God ring. Ideally I would like to replace this with a Forest Guardian and replace this with a Hilla's Rage, but like I said, they're both really expensive at the moment, so I don't really want to mess with that right now. I've got this pocket item from back when I played. I've got Crusader Codex. I've got these 2 pendants, which are both pretty good. This one needs a little bit of work on the bonus pot, but it's not terrible. I'm borrowing this claw right now from my friend Tyler. It's actually insane. The main pot isn't that great, but the bonus pot is probably the best bonus pot I've ever seen in my life, and probably the best bonus pot I will ever see in my life. So, while we work on a claw for ourselves, we will be borrowing this from Tyler, which is dope. Thanks again, Tyler, for letting me use this in the meantime. We've got a belt. We've got no hat. Hat is one of the things I still need to get. We have our old accessories here, which I plan to replace both of, because obviously, you know, they can get a lot better than this. So these will be getting replaced. I've got a top with a bonus pot that could use a little bit of work, but it's not awful for right now. I need pants still. Don't have any pants. I've got a shoe, which is pretty good. I've got earrings, which need a better bonus pot, but the main pot is pretty good. Got a shoulder, which will eventually be replaced by the level 200 shoulder, so I'm not too worried about upgrading it right now. I've got gloves, which are pretty good. I've got a battle roid. I've got a superior lithium heart. Superior lithium heart from when I used to play Nightwalker. Obviously, it's not great, and I plan to replace this with an outlaw heart. But those are also pretty expensive right now, and I still have to sell some more of my mage equips before I can afford one. So that's why we're still using this. I've got a cape. I've got a secondary, which is pretty good. I've got a beater medal, which is awesome to have again. I really wish they would let you transfer this around your account for all the times that I changed after I was a Nightwalker and couldn't use this. Really sucked. I've got an old ghost ship badge and an old emblem. Obviously, both of these need to be replaced. We have Sengoku High coming up soon, so I plan to replace both of them then. It was very convenient timing for the Sengoku High event. So that's where we're at with equips. That's basically it for the update portion. Well, actually, we've got pet equips. I had the yellow chicken pet package. I bought it on my Evan because I thought they were cool pets, and I ended up using them, so good for me. We've already scrolled these. They turned out worse than every other set of mage equips that I made. Mage pet equips, rather, but, you know, whatever. I'm not going to redo them, so. And then I have my fire starter ring. So that is everything. We still need a hat, we still need pants, we still need both Sweetwater accessories, we need a 4th ring, and we need an outlaw heart. So that's 5 equips. 5 equips still. Still got a number of things to sell on my Evan, so hopefully we can get that sorted soon. But moving on, we have the surprise that I thought would be fun, which may or may not turn out to be fun. But I thought it would be fun to go over the history of my mains since I started playing MapleStory. Because a lot of people ask, you know, why do you change mains so much? And personally, I don't think I change mains that much. I know people who change mains a lot more, but I guess on average, most people never change mains. So, you know, compared to that, yeah, I change fairly often. But anyways, we're gonna open a notepad here, and we're gonna go over that for fun. So I started playing MapleStory in January of 2008, and I mained a fighter. And I never got that fighter to 3rd job, so it was always a fighter. Never became a crusader, whatever the next job advancement is for hero. And then I played that for about 10 months, and then October 2008, I started my Shadower. Back then, I think I got my Shadower to level 70 in like a month, and I was so excited about that because my, you know, fighter after 10 months had never even gotten to level 70. So that was like a very weird, I guess, analog to power leveling back in the day. Getting level 70 in a month was pretty good, I think. And then I mained Shadower for a long time, actually. Longer than I've ever mained any other class, weirdly enough. All the way until Phantom came out, which was like July of 2012. And then I went to Phantom. And then I raised Phantom to level 200. I think it took me like 4 days. I was like 4th in Broa to hit 200, and I was like the 20th in GMS. Something like that. And then I mained Phantom for a few months, but then I eventually got bored and decided to quit MapleStory altogether. So I started selling my stuff, and then after I had sold everything, I kind of just, you know, I still played, but I was mostly just AFK. Didn't really do very much. In December of 2012, I decided to try Luminous, even though I didn't have any gear, because I thought it would be fun. And at this same time, KMS announced Xenon coming out. And Xenon actually looked like a lot of fun to me. So literally a month later, I decided, you know what, I'm getting back into MapleStory, and we're funding a dual blade to prep for Xenon. Because I was planning to race Xenon as well to 200. So that summer, I think it was July of 2013, we did the Xenon race. I was, oh gosh, was I second in Broa? No, I was third in Broa. I still have that title. They gave out titles on Xenon for the first 10 people to hit 200 in the server. I think I was third. I still have the title, which is pretty cool. I don't remember how long it took. I think first did it in like 24 hours. I think I took like 3 days or something. I don't really remember. Then I mained Xenon for a couple of months and decided again I want to quit MapleStory. So this is like September, October-ish. I started to sell my equips, but by that point the stuff I had wasn't really worth very much anymore. So I ended up deciding instead to go back to Phantom, because Phantom was getting a lot of buffs at the time. Not necessarily like straight buffs to Phantom, but I think it was around this time that Dark Knights got Cross Surge, which was a huge buff for Phantom. So I think it was like October 2013, I went back to Phantom for the second time. And I played Phantom for a little while, all the way until April 2014. April of 2014 is when KMS announced the revamp for Nightwalker, and I thought it looked sick when I saw the revamp for Nightwalker. So I immediately dropped Phantom and went to Nightlord to prep for Nightwalker. And then October of 2014, we switched full-time to Nightwalker. And then I mained Nightwalker for probably almost a full year, wasn't it? Maybe not. I don't really remember when I went back to Phantom after this. It was sometime... No, it wasn't a full year. Okay, I think it was like around June of 2015. I went back to Phantom. This is when they nerfed Nightwalker into the ground, and I was really salty about it. So I went back to Phantom. And then I was Phantom again until... When was it? It was like... Actually, no, it was January of 2016, because this is when Kinesis came out. So around like October of 2015, I decided that Kinesis looked really cool. So I made the decision to convert all of my Thief gear into Mage gear so that I could play Kinesis. That lasted all of 1 month, because I hated Kinesis bossing. And then I went to Evan. And then I was Evan until... When did Ilium come out? Like a month ago now? Like December... Well, I mean, yeah, December of 2017, we went to Ilium for like 2 weeks. And then now, January of 2018, we're back to Nightwalker. So there you go. It's the history of my mains. These two I don't really count as mains, but everything else was a main, sort of, except for Kinesis and Ilium, I guess. Yeah. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? 11 different mains in the course of 10 years. And I've gone back to Phantom a few times, and I've gone back to Nightwalker twice now. So, mained a number of things, I guess, in my history. So, for all of you who were curious as to why I switch mains so much, I don't really have an answer for you. I guess if I were to come up with an answer, I would say that, to me, the most fun to be had in MapleStory is like the process of upgrading, if that makes sense. And when you have a main for long enough, like with Evan, for example, you sort of hit a wall where you've like upgraded all you really want to upgrade. And so then you're just doing dailies, you're doing weekly bosses, you're doing whatever. And it's not as much of a enjoyable game in that situation, I think. So, to me, that's why switching mains isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world. I get why a lot of people don't like switching mains, and it's totally valid, but personally, I don't really care too much about switching mains. Obviously, I don't want to be doing it like every other month or every other week or anything, because that's annoying, honestly. But I think like once a year, once every few months, honestly isn't that bad. As long as it's like 6 months, it's not really a big deal. So there you go. No one asked for it, but you got it anyways. The history of my mains. And that'll conclude this unnecessarily long update video. Like I said, I'm still working on getting those last few equips for Nightwalker. Hopefully we'll be done soon-ish, so I can get back to, bossing. But in the meantime, I'm still selling equips, I'm still buying equips, working on perfecting what I can. So, yep, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but it'll be something related to Nightwalker, probably. So, see you later.